Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and there's definitely going to be some world spoilers in this video. I really hate that I even have to say that, but I swear, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, people are always going to find something to like complain about or cry about or get mad about. And at this point, world spoilers are like everywhere on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, everywhere. So if you're, not expecting spoilers or getting mad about spoilers, you're a weirdo, but still, just want to give you a heads up. We're going to be talking about some world stuff in this video, but also bringing Worlds in together with the big news we got earlier in the week, just a couple days ago at this point, that G2 is going to be, blowing up their roster, which has really been the rumor and speculation for a couple weeks now, it seems like. But to finally get the word from Carlos himself that G2 is going to be moving on from Wunder, from Mickey, from Reckless, from not himself, Grabs, Nelson, and the entire support staff, was very crazy, and it was truly the end of an era of G2, of the West, of just an era of League of Legends in general, that, we kind of have to put into perspective now, and I think it makes for an interesting topic of discussion. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. That would be absolutely awesome, to help support me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this one, where first I want to start this whole video. This was something I was already thinking of a little bit, but G-Bay tweeted about it, and that's what first, kind of got this into my head as maybe a video idea or something, that more people should be talking about. And I felt like this tweet didn't get enough love. I don't really know how poppin' G-Bay is on Twitter these days, but it only got 200 likes. And I retweeted it, but I swear I couldn't even find it on my page, so I didn't know if he deleted it or what. But he tweeted this, and I actually saw somebody else tweet this as well, that seeing some of these LEC struggles really puts into perspective how great G2 were in their world runs. And I think he's absolutely right, because while G2 was doing the things that they did, winning an MSI, making a world finals, making a world semifinals, they got one MSI taken away from them. Who knows what would have happened there? It's hard to say that they would have won another MSI, but I'm sure they would have had a deep run. I'm sure they would have been in the mix. I'm sure they would have been competitive. And while this world is not yet over, and in fact, a lot of people are already saying the West is going to get no teams out of groups, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we will get at least one team out of groups. I don't really even know if it's possible to get more than one team out of groups at this point. I mean, it's possible, but highly unlikely. But I do think we will be able to get at least one team out. I do kind of expect either Mad Lions or Team Liquid to get out of Group D at this point. Despite them both being 1 and 2, I think they're actually not in a horrible position, as horrible position as some of the other teams are, since there isn't a 3-0 team in that group. But putting this G2 team into perspective, everyone was talking about how great Europe was because of what G2 was doing, and how G2 wasn't a one-team region how Europe wasn't a one-team region because Fnatic had some good runs here and there. And if you really look, it's kind of true, but not really. Yes, Fnatic did get out of groups here. They went 4 and 2. They made it out of a group with RNG, so that's awesome, but they lost in the quarterfinals. Yes, they took a game off FPX, but, they lost in the quarterfinals. Then, we have the 2020 Worlds where, kind of the same story, where G2 makes it to the semifinals. And, yeah, they lose to Damwon. Damwon ends up being the best team. You can make the argument that G2 is the second best team in the world. But Fnatic, once again, the only other EU team to make it out, loses in the quarterfinals. Now, again, you can say, oh, this was close. Oh, they could have beat Top Esports. Oh, they should have beat Top Esports. Oh, they were so close to being a top 4 team. They were so close to making semifinals. But they didn't. And, NA has had those stories a couple times. NA's almost made it out of groups before. NA, has had teams play close with other teams before. NA's made it to a semifinals before. And, we were never saying how great of a region NA was because, they were never. So I just think it's kind of weird how, EU, and I've definitely even fallen into this trap as well, that EU has started to get a little bit overrated because of G2's recent success. And now, seeing that G2 was not as dominant this year, and this was something I tweeted about, G2 was talking a little bit about, throughout the year, I think it was Jankos, but I'm not really sure. I know some G2 players were saying that this season, they weren't necessarily playing worse, just all of Europe got better. Oh, look at how great Mad Lions is. Look at how great Rogue is. Look at how great, Fnatic is in Summer Split. And the last couple years when G2 was dominating, there was no European teams that good or no European players that good. Now everyone was just pretty good. So it wasn't, necessarily alarming that G2 was struggling. And if Mad Lions was beating them, it was a sign of how great Mad Lions was. Obviously, so far at Worlds 2021, that has clearly not been the case. It seems like it really was just G2 struggling. And it really shows how difficult it is to get to the top and how difficult it is to stay at the top, because we're just, 2 years removed from G2 looking like the best team in the world, 1 year removed from them looking like one of the best teams in the world. And all of a sudden, they just finished fourth in a region that, might have like a 25% win rate at Worlds and get no teams even out of groups. And G2 is worse than all those teams. Now, yes, Mad Lions isn't very good in best of ones. Yes, Rogue kind of mental boomed at the end of the season, and Fnatic maybe mental boomed even harder. But overall, I still don't think that changes the fact that we're seeing that Europe, maybe, again, group stage is not over yet. They still have 3 games to turn the whole narrative and story around, and Europe has done this before in the past. But it's looking like Europe was just maybe not that great, was maybe not that good. And this should put into perspective the amazing time that we saw and the amazing things that G2 was able to accomplish. They really did something special. It was not Europe as a whole leveling up. This was one team coming together. And they were really some of the best players, if not the best player in Europe, at every single position. And that's truly done. And it's all over. And it's crazy. And, like this guy here, he said the greatest team to ever exist, the only EU team that had a chance to win the Worlds, and the last one probably. And I said, nah, not the last. Because I definitely don't believe that. Saying it's the last ever, that's a really, really hard statement to make. One, because we don't know how much longer LOL Esports is even going to last. It could last 5, 10, 20, 50 more years. And in the next 5, 10, 20, 50 more years, whatever, it's, almost a foregone conclusion that another team like G2 will arise. As long as Europe and the West stays active and involved and cares about League of Legends and keeps throwing money and resources and developing players and all this stuff, it's going to happen again. Now, it sucks. I get why everyone's depressed. The future outlook looks bleak, all this stuff. Because it's like, when are we going to see a team that great again? When is any of this going to happen again? And we now are maybe understanding a little bit of just how difficult it is and how amazing and great this G2 team, these G2 players, everyone was. And it's also crazy, how fast they fell how fast they fell so far. But yeah, it's truly the end of an era, and I think this is a much bigger deal than people even understand. That we kind of took it for granted for a little while, I guess, that, Europe was now one of these regions, and yeah, Mad Lions was going to come to Worlds, and they were going to dominate. They were going to be one of the best teams in the world, and all the European teams were going to do good. Now I get it. They all have a lot of excuses. Mad Lions, Fnatic, Rogue. It's been a crazy, crazy year. But yeah, I am starting to get curious. When will we see another Western team compete for World Championships, compete for MSI titles? Not just try and make it out of groups, not just barely make it out of groups, not maybe make it to semifinals if you get a good quarterfinals draw, but legitimately be a threat. I hope it's next year. I hope it's soon. I hope Jankos and Caps can, rebuild G2 next year and recreate that greatness. But I definitely think people are going to be looking back on this team, very nostalgically and really, hanging on to this G2 roster. And I really think it's something we're going to appreciate much more these next couple of years. If we do hit a little downward slope, if we do hit a little valley, if we do hit some dark times for Europe the next couple of years where we really look back and we're like, damn, remember when there was a European team that was legitimately beating top Korean and Chinese teams and all this stuff? Because, yeah, it's just not what we have right now, and it's really, really crazy to see. But, yeah, truly the end of an era is what we have witnessed in G2, and now we're going to see all these players split up. They're all going to go their separate ways. And that magic, that whatever we saw these last couple of years, 2019 specifically, it's not going to be there anymore. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe these players will find some success on new teams, but, all those players being together on one team, doing the things they did was special. And now it's gone. Truly the end of an era. And what we're seeing at Worlds 2021 this year from European and North American teams, that's just what it is now. That is the new times. That is the new era. And obviously we need to rebuild. We need to find a way to fix it. We need to, turn things around. But there's no going back at this point. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Tell me, drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this topic? Do you think, people are being realistic with the expectations for Europe and what they've been the last couple of years, what they should be in the future? Or do you think, people were kind of overrating them all along? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.